my experience in, I guess, in situations that I would consider religious or spiritual, have definitely been a very good thing for me.
There's a wave of, I guess, spirituality. People are searching for some sort of spirituality, but it's not necessarily through organized religion.
I became more interested in, I guess, school, philosophy, and international cultures, and so I've kind of toned down my religious beliefs since then.
There's no doubt, I guess, from my part that religion or the practice of a religious self does engage reality for you in a different way that a non-religious or a never practicing a type of spirituality self is left without.
I believe there's something out there, but at this moment, I'm kind of on the bubble of saying, like, maybe there's nothing, I don't know.
They say religion is a way of life, and it's very true for anyone who's, at least who is a Muslim, because it is very much a part of everything you do. So, you know, we get up in the morning, the first thing we do is pray. And, you know, then throughout the day we break to pray. And then if it's Ramadan, we're fasting. Every single thing you do has some sort of religious aspect into it.
The way I practice religion is very different from my father. So for example, you know, prayers was very important to me, and prayers is important to me, but understanding what I pray and not necessarily, for example, in Arabic, where for him it might be important to say things in Arabic, to recite the prayers in Arabic. For me, it's about knowing what I'm saying, for building that inner understanding of each and every action that I'm doing, understanding why I'm fasting or what is the deeper meaning in every action that I'm doing.
We really look deep into our religion. We try to get more knowledge to find out what we believe is the true, you know, way to practice Islam.
Our generation is kind of like trying to balance like a new culture as well as like staying close to a religion that, you know, hasn't always been a part of like the American lifestyle. So I think it's more like for our generation more of like, I guess a process of just trying to figure out like how to like put the two together and make it work, I guess.
There's more of an understanding of other religions now, I think. Just like from a Catholic point of view, I guess, like, I think more Catholics now understand what it is to be a Muslim.
Yeah.
Well, actually, my girlfriend, she's a Muslim, and in order to marry her, which I'm planning on doing, I have to convert. I used to think that, you know, Islam and Christianity were the same, but I found out the biggest difference is that they believe in Jesus Christ. They just don't believe he was the Son of God, which is a big deal, because in Christianity, that's how you get to heaven. And so I have to, like, denounce that, basically, that he wasn't the Son of God, and pray 5 times a day. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I have to do.
I like this idea of commonality and like and just like things that connect us and things that bring us together.
I'm originally from Chicago, so I can't really speak to the Texas history of Judaism or how that works, but I know that definitely coming here, it sort of opened my eyes to the fact that yes, there are so many different ways people can embrace their Judaism, but also that there's that certain unique bond that religion can kind of get everyone together. I lead services here almost every Friday, which is a lot of fun, and I think of it as a service to any Jewish students who want to come. I think the best thing I like is it kind of gives me a home away from home. You know, I grew up in a very Jewish area, and I just kind of like the cultural aspect of, you know, being able to throw in a Yiddish word here or there and everyone know what I'm saying, and hang out with a bunch of Jews and have some matzo ball soup when I'm sick. The history and the stories and the morals and the ethics, all that stuff sort of has seeped in, so it's kind of a good compass for everyday decisions in life.
Judaism's always been very important to my family. It's always been a critical part of our family life. It just, whether that's been the, like you said, the moral values, the ideas of Judaism, the things that it teaches us about how to live our life, or whether it's the ritualistic, we've become more ritualistic, I would say, since when I was younger.
I think especially coming to college really helped that when you're really on your own and you have to sort of decide, okay, how much is this a priority, how much is it not, what do I want to investigate further?
It could be said of anything, it could be said of politics, could be said of service to the community, that, you know, for some people, college is a time when it becomes more important, for others it's a time when it becomes less. It depends on what path they choose to take.
My mother is very religious, and Mass every Sunday, Catholic school my whole life, separation of boys and girls, and it was really intense, and I thought it was unnecessary, so sort of rejected it from early on.
I still see when I go back home, a strong influence of religion. And then there's definitely the people that just don't take on a religion, so.
My reason for starting this group was purely kind of selfish. I wanted to meet other people like me. So I think that it's important for atheist students to have this kind of thing, because otherwise they don't have any, this is the only place that they can come together and talk about this sometimes, because they don't have any other atheist friends, or all their friends are religious, or their family's really religious, and they don't get to talk about it anywhere else.
And even now, I'm 20 and I'm in college and I have these like really great friends, and then it comes up that I'm atheist and everything changes.
Usually it comes up first that I don't drink. And then they tell me, oh, if it's for religious reasons, we understand. And I'm like, no, I'm actually atheist. And then they're just completely confused.
When I meet people, I'm really straightforward about being atheist, because I've lost so many friends that I thought I could trust. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, you're not good enough to be my friend. You don't have Jesus in your life. Sorry, see you later.
They aren't very observant, even if they are. I mean, I have Muslim friends, for matter of fact. I mean, last night I went out for my birthday, and we went to Hooters, and he drank beer and was at Hooters, and he eats pepperoni rolls every Tuesday, which pork, and I mean but he did observe Ramadan, so he's like, yeah, I'm into it, but whatever.
They're scared of taking responsibility for their own actions. They're scared of dying and not having an afterlife. They're scared of not having somebody taking care of them at all times, and that's why to be an atheist is kind of scary, because you're like, whoa, I really am on my own here. This is my life. This is what I'm doing.
From what I remember in the introductory meeting, most of us just became atheists, and then once you do, you really can't help it. And so, beyond that, and in fact, a lot of us expressed almost wanting not to be atheists because of all the trouble it was bringing.
Ignorance is bliss, that's in the Bible.
Yeah.
For the most part, we get people to come up and say, oh, hey, I didn't know you had a group. It's good to know that you're here. It's been pretty nice so far. It could change.
I love that people's minds that everybody can have their own idea of what God is in their life, because I think that feeling and that experience is something that everybody can experience. It's something that everybody can feel. It's something that if you can even imagine the idea of truth, it is something that is real.
In our daily lives, we have a lot of thoughts going on. What we need to do in meditation is to bring ourselves back to whatever we are focusing on.
We're in a busy world. We have internet, we always have TV, we have the Walkman. So I think this is a good time to meet with ourselves.
It's remarkably hard to sort of push out all of the sort of background thoughts that come into your mind. I mean, it's an unconscious act, sort of. They just sort of come in, and before you know it, one thought leads to another, and you're not really thinking about the task you're supposed to be doing. So, meditating for me is kind of like a training to try and focus that back and push out those sort of background thoughts and focus on what it is I should be doing.
Because Buddhism is still a pretty new type of philosophy, or even you can call it a religion in America, so there's a lot of misunderstanding as well as actual teaching of Buddhism. So the spread of Buddhism among young people might take a while in America before it can really flourish.
If I want to marry a Chinese lady who is Buddhist, no problem. They say you can get married. Nobody in her family is going to say you have to convert to Buddhism. But if you compare to a Christian or to a Muslim person, if I want to marry one of her daughters, they will force me to convert.
Not that I've actually done any of this, I haven't really been doing what I should be doing, but it has impacted me, such as eating pork, because that's hard not to do for me. And drinking, I had to cut back on that. That's been hard. But my friends are, they can't believe I'm actually doing that for another person. So, I mean, my family can't, but they're getting over it. They're, once everyone meets her, they're cool with it. But before that, everyone thinks I'm crazy to do something like that, yeah.